Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, PG, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, and the rest of the world. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Bless up your whole selves. It's another thankful Thursday in the land of the living. Happy am I to be here with you this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. Always a pleasure. Thank you for your time, your listenership, your viewership. Without you, there'd be no us. Thank you so much for starting your day off with us here at the GBN. Those of you on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Trust you had a restful and peaceful Wednesday night and you're ready to do Thursday with a thankful and grateful heart. Thank you so much. Let's get right into it. It's time for this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is judder. Judder. It's spelled Judder. Judder. It's a verb which means to vibrate violently. Judder as a verb means to vibrate or shake violently, and as a noun, violent shaking. It is first recorded in 1926 and refers to the shaking of automobiles or their parts. It was later applied to aircraft. Judder has no precise etymology. It may be a combination of jolt or jerk and shudder, or it may be a variant pronunciation of shudder. The word of the day this morning is judder. Judder, a verb which means to vibrate violently. An example of the use of the word: he stalks through both sets of automatic doors which judder and groan. Another example of the use of the word: other times the vehicle's robotic brain appeared confused, lingering at an all-way stop and juddering when a group of pedestrians crossed in front. The word of the day this morning, it's spelled Judder. It's pronounced judder, and it is a verb which means to vibrate violently. That's the word of the day this morning, to judder. And as you go about your thankful Thursday, let's see what the thought of today is. This morning's thought of the day is: sometimes what you're most afraid of doing is the very thing that will set you free. Sometimes what you're most afraid of doing is the very thing that will set you free. We think twice, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times before we do something, and that might just be the thing we need. That's just the right thing that we need, the right step that we need, the right mission, the right road, the right path. But we're afraid and we're scared, and when we start the journey, we're like, well, I should have done this a long time ago. Remember that. So whatever you're afraid of doing, whatever you're afraid of starting, whatever you're anxious about, you're thinking twice about, do it. Because sometimes what you're most afraid of doing is the very thing that will set you free. So start on the journey. Start on the journey and you'll see betterment. You'll see betterment. Start on that journey. Sometimes what you're most afraid of doing is the very thing that will set you free. All right, let's see what is celebrated today, May 20th, 2021. Today it is World Bee Day. World Bee Day. And yesterday we had an official telling us about the importance of World Bee Day and why we need to celebrate it. Bee and other pollinators are increasingly under threat from human activities. Pollination is a fundamental process for the survival of our ecosystem, and nearly 90% of the world's wild-flowering plant species depend entirely, or at least in part, on animal pollination. To raise awareness of the importance of pollinators, the threats they face, and their contribution to sustainable development, the United Nations designated May 20th as World Bee Day. The goal is to strengthen measures aimed at protecting bees and other pollinators, which will significantly contribute to solving problems related to the global food supply and eliminate hunger in developing countries. We all depend on pollinators, and it is crucial to monitor their decline and halt the loss of biodiversity. It is World Bee Day. Many of you may not be aware of the importance of bees. There's a movie, a little cartoon movie. I think it's called The Bee Movie. Yes, the Bee Movie tells us really about the importance of bees and how important they are. We don't really, all we see is danger and run from the stinger and the bee nest, and we need to duck and run. But bees are an important part of our ecosystem, and it is important that you do a little research. Do a little research. That's what your mission is on World Bee Day. Research the importance of bees and what they mean for our ecosystem, how essential, important they are, and how much they are under threat. That's what you're going to do for World Bee Day. Research the importance of bees, and then you'll realize how important they are, and we shouldn't just kill them once we see them buzzing around. We shouldn't just swat them and duck and run and hide. They are an important part of the ecosystem. Without bees, a lot of things that we take for granted would not happen. Not just pollination. They go a long way in developing and progressing our ecosystem. So that's your mission today on World Bee Day. Research the importance of bees. That's your mission today. Coming through with a little bit. I know the kids, children, go and research bees. Tell mommy and daddy you want to see the importance of bees, and that'll definitely help us understand their importance. All right, let's go now to some information. Today's Thursday, so it was yesterday. Two of our international athletes, our world champions, go girl, they were in stellar form yesterday at their respective events. I'm going to start with our Olympic champion or Olympic medalist, Kirani James. He running in his second race of the season, his second or third? I can't remember, getting old. Second or third race of the season. He won the Ostrava Golden Spike race yesterday in 44.74 seconds. It was a stellar performance from Kirani, and congratulations to him once again. Like I said, sometimes we're not aware that our athletes are flying our flags, but they are doing so, and doing so stunningly. Congratulations to Kirani on the victory yesterday. Coming out with the win, this is at least the second consecutive win. He won his last race as well, 44.74 seconds in the Ostrava Golden Spike yesterday. So congratulations to him. And also performing yesterday is the world champion in javelin, Anderson Peters. He got the silver medal in a throw of 83.89 meters. This is his season's best. Also at the Ostrava Golden Spike in 2021, the victor came out with over 90 meters, 94 point something meters in the javelin. Anderson picked up the silver. He finished second. Another sterling performance by our athletes. Bless them up, hail them up whenever you see them, send them a little note on social media if that's what it takes. Encourage them because they're doing their best and they're representing Grenada fully. Also this week, Mike, I don't think you have this one, but also this week, Melanie Rodney, one of our track athletes, she ran a personal best in the 400 meter on Sunday in 51.32 seconds, if my memory serves me correctly. And that time qualifies her for the Olympic Games in Tokyo if they take place. So congratulations to Melanie. Bless up she whole self. A former student of the St. Joseph's Convent, St. George's. Thank you very much. Yep, that's right, Melanie Rodney, doing great things. Our athletes continue to represent. All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. It's Good Morning Grenada on another thankful Thursday. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
proposal is now on the table following the second round of mediation talks held on Tuesday between the government's negotiating team and the trade unions representing public officers. That's according to the president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew. A date for the next meeting has not yet been set.
Minister for Labour Peter David continued mediation in the ongoing dispute over the 4% salary increase due to teachers and public officers for 2021. The minister, in his capacity as mediator, held joint talks with representatives of the government's negotiating team and the Grenada Union of Teachers on Tuesday. This came following separate meetings with each party over the last 2 weeks. Following Tuesday's negotiation with a proposal on the table, the GUT President General says they await the outcome.
Basically, it was a reasonably good meeting that we had. There is a proposal on the table which we will not discuss here right now. So we'll see basically what the response is from the government of Grenada, and so we should be in a position to hear that soon. But it was a reasonable, okay meeting.
Giving an overview of the position of both parties, the Labour Minister said both sides have indicated a clear desire to resolve the matter. At Tuesday's meeting, proposals were tabled by both sides for consideration. According to the Minister, the talks were amicable and focused on bringing the parties closer to a compromise. The Minister for Labour will convene a second meeting with both parties early next week to review the responses to the proposals tabled. Bartholomew responded to the teachers' 1-hour lunch break. He says too long teachers are taken for granted, as oftentimes teachers would sacrifice that hour to accommodate extra class work.
It is going reasonably well. I mean, it is nice for the very first time that teachers, basically would have experienced some freedom, because based on the law and everything else, that teachers, like any other worker, basically have the right to enjoy their 1 hour lunch. As we see with the Ministry for Education, everybody takes their lunch at the lunchtime hour. Few persons will basically stay back if you have to get something done and assist you, but persons will go for their lunch, and not even in the Ministry for Education, but they will drive out or walk out and go for their lunch. So it just shows you the dedication, the sacrifice of the Grenada Union of Teachers, because lunch, 1 hour lunch, is a legal right.
There are a few teachers, he says, that still remain committed to assisting students during the hour, especially the little ones.
They want to do these things, and they don't really want to do it, but we have to do it because government are not listening in terms of for something. We shouldn't have to be fighting for something that is basically rightfully and legally ours. I've seen that the preschool teachers, even if they have a right to have their lunch hour too and to go anywhere they want, you will realize that based on the generosity of the teachers, that the preschool teachers are basically not involved and would have always taken care of the smaller children.
The GUT President General is asking the general public to assist them with their cause. Christina John, GBN News.
Officials for the Bank and General Workers Union are calling on the management of Blue Danube Bakery to do the right thing and give the workers what is due to them. This comes after the union, in a press release issued, said it was informed that the bakery was leased to new investors without informing the workers. We get more in this Serena Pear-Thomas report.
Workers of Blue Danube Bakery have not received their severance pay or other benefits from their employer despite the bakery's new ownership, according to Joseph Mitchell, Secretary General of the Bank and General Workers Union. The bakery was leased to 2 new owners on 2 occasions without informing the workers and the union. He said that several attempts to meet with the owners to address the issue through writing or verbally have not materialized.
We represent approximately eight full-time workers at Blue Danube Bakery. As a matter of fact, we learned that the bakery would have changed hands, lease or something like that, around the end of October last year. And subsequently, it changed hands again sometime around maybe early this year. So we sought to engage management by writing them. We wrote them a letter on March 12th, requesting an audience with them. I got the manager at one point, she basically said that they were working on things. They did not have a copy of the contract. They needed that. We supplied that to them. Up to today, we haven't had any formal engagement.
The Secretary General explained that workers involved have been employed in the establishment for over 40 years and deserve to reap from their labor. He said the union has a great concern as workers' services have been turned over to the new employer without being compensated in accordance with the collective industrial agreement between the union and the bakery.
Our biggest concern here is the effect and the impact that it is having on the lives of these workers, because my understanding, these workers are not even working full-time now, and they are not able to look after their families, they're not able to pay their bills. It's causing a real negative impact on their lives. And so we are publicly calling on the management of Blue Daniel Bakery to come to the table. Let us have this matter resolved.
Mitchell says if the management does not acknowledge the union's attempts to solve the issue peacefully, the situation will escalate.
Certainly, our first hope and our first option really is to have engagement. That's what we would like to see, because at the end of the day, whatever the situation is, we must sit down and have these matters resolved. If that is not done, we do have some plans to escalate the situation, because we just cannot sit idly by as workers' representatives and allow this just to die off, or in some way just this evasive action of the employer. So we have something planned. We're not going to say it publicly, but certainly it's something that we cannot leave to rest.
GBN called the former manager of Blue Daniel Bakery, Rachel Campbell, to get a comment on the union's claims. However, she said she had no comment on the matter. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Former Senator Terry Noel has come clean on the rationale for his resignation from the Upper House of Parliament and as one of the 3 senators selected by opposition leader Tobias Clement. His resignation took immediate effect on Monday due to his ties with the Grenada movement. He has issued a statement on his resignation. Gerard Joseph has the latest developments.
The decision, he says, sprung from the Grenada movement's announcement that it has begun its transition from a non-government organization into a political party. Terry Noel says he was an active member of TGM even before he accepted the invitation to become a senator. Hence, he sought to follow democratic traditions by resigning to give the leader of the opposition, Tobias Clement, a chance to nominate another senator. He also expressed appreciation to Mr. Clement for his confidence in him to serve as a senator. In his statement, Noel says, with Grenada being at a crucial stage in his political life, his sense of patriotism demands that he continues to serve the country and actively participate in its social and political evolution. In the release, he says TGM represents, in his mind, the best option for moving Grenada forward. GBN will bring you a more in-depth story on what can be expected from Terry Noel in his political journey with TGM in Thursday's newscast. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
The recent breach of COVID-19 protocols has forced the Health Ministry to up its security game. This as officials strive to ensure safety and security at ports of entry and quarantine facilities in a bid to curb the spread of the virus. Beverly Telesford reports.
Over the weekend, Pat Bruno, a Grenadian-American citizen, was arrested and charged for violating Grenada's COVID-19 regulations after he failed to quarantine as per regulations. Bruno arrived in Grenada on Saturday, 15th May 2021, boarded a taxi, which instead of proceeding to his approved quarantine site, took him to Madeira St. George, where he allegedly mingled with several members of that community and surrounding areas. Health Minister Nicholas Steele says following this recent breach, officials are now tasked with looking at ways to minimize loopholes in the system.
The way the process is supposed to work, the individual, when they come in based on where they have prepaid for their quarantine or where they have been approved if it is home quarantine, that information is passed directly on to the dispatcher at the airport to inform whoever the approved taxi driver is. He or she is informed of the location that the person is supposed to be brought to and knows before they leave the airport where they are to bring this person. And in this instance, that was ignored by the taxi driver as well.
Minister Steele explained why the taxi driver, who has now been suspended from his operational duties, was penalized for the protocol breach.
I think it's a collective because it's the Taxi Association, GTA are also involved in this, and it's the collective opinions of all involved.
All right. Now let's look at how we have been keeping.
Pat Bruno was charged for the offense of breach of quarantine on Sunday, May 16, 2021. He was granted bail in the amount of $2,000 with one surety and is scheduled to make his first court appearance at the St. George's Magistrates Court tomorrow, Thursday, May 20th. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
The location of a utility pole in the Toby Road construction project was brought to the attention of the GBN on Wednesday by a concerned citizen. As is visible, construction is presently ongoing on the road, which serves as a bypass connecting parts of Woburn on the cliff to the Woodlands Public Road. The issue highlighted is the location of the pole in all this. GBN went to the site earlier today and sought clarity from the contractor, who declined from commenting on camera. However, said Grenlec has given the assurance that not just the one, but 2 poles will be removed. The road is presently closed to undertake the final stage of the rehabilitation work, which is estimated to last 7 weeks and is one of government's efforts to ease traffic congestion. News to rattle India with daily deaths reaching a worldwide record. It now leaves the COVAX facility millions of vaccines short, an effect that trickles down to Grenada. We get more in this report.
COVAX, the international scheme to ensure equal access to COVID-19 vaccines, is currently 140 million doses short because of India's continuing COVID crisis. Health Minister Nicholas Steele says due to the current shortage of vaccines available, the next shipment Grenada receives may not even be AstraZeneca.
That has definitely put a challenge on the COVAX facility. Up to yesterday, we received bulletins on that. And it is possible that the second delivery may not be AstraZeneca. They are trying to make sure that it is, because there are other areas in the world that AstraZeneca is manufactured. One is in Sweden, I believe, and the other in South Korea. So we are working with them for that, but there are also, as you saw, some countries in the region have already received shipments through COVAX of Sinopharm as well. So it may vary, and COVAX, the Pan American Health, WHO, has always said that COVAX would be a multiple of WHO-approved vaccines.
This, the health minister says, is another reason why persons should not hesitate to get the AstraZeneca vaccine, so they can receive both doses before expiration occurs. He says there is still time.
Final day, well, there's no final day because remember, you have between 4 and 12 weeks to take your second dose. So even if somebody came the last week of June, when the couple of days or the week before what we had in stock was expiring, they have another 12 weeks for 3 months for us to get more vaccines so that they can have their second dose. And I still would encourage those who would be doing that to still do that, because it's still better to have 60 to 70% protection against COVID-19 than the 90% protection or so that you would get with a second dose.
The U.S. has promised to provide aid to COVAX in light of the shortage. U.S. President Joe Biden announced on Monday the U.S. will share 20 million doses from its surplus stocks of Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines before the end of June. This will be in addition to the earlier U.S. commitment to share 60 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine with other countries. Today, Grenada confirmed a total of 161 cases of COVID-19, of which 160 people recovered, with 1 recorded death. Presently, there are no active COVID cases throughout the state of Grenada, and a total of 395 people are in quarantine facilities. 16,034 people have received the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, and 7,046 received their second dose. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
Noting that over the last week there were more than 1.2 million new cases of COVID-19 and 31,000 deaths reported in the Americas and the Caribbean, PAHO Director Carissa ATN is calling for more vaccine manufacturing plants to be built in the region. We get the details in this report.
And the region's delayed access to vaccines when compared to first world countries is being attributed to the overdependence on imports for essential medical supplies. That is, according to the director of the Pan American Health Organization, Carissa Etienne, who notes that less than 4% of medical products in use during the pandemic have come from the region.
And thanks to export bans, supply chain delays, and lack of purchasing power, our region has struggled to compete for access to personal protective equipment, to oxygen supplies, medicines, and vaccines, which are all vital to the COVID response as our people suffer the consequences.
She says it has become an issue of health security to expand the region's capacity to manufacture strategic medical supplies, including vaccines.
Luckily, we have some of the building blocks to make it happen. Strong academic and research institutions, existing manufacturing capacity, robust regulatory systems, and an effective mechanism of procurement.
Etienne notes they need to build upon the well-established vaccine manufacturing plants in Cuba and other countries that are already producing COVID-19 vaccines.
But meeting our region's needs will require expanding production capacity well beyond what's already planned. We must ramp up production for the entire vaccine value chain, from the ingredients that go into vaccines to the vials and syringes that help us deliver them, without compromising quality.
The PAO director says they are working with the WHO and the Vaccine Technology Transfer Hub, as well as with interested stakeholders to make it happen. Some Grenadians have been calling for investments in a local vaccine manufacturing plant, which would incorporate modern technology and traditional remedies. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
A medical expert cautions that it is important to check your blood pressure. The increased rate of this chronic disease is said to be high among the younger population. We look at the effects of this disease in this week's GBN Health. The Ministry of Carriacou and PC Martinique Affairs and the local government has officially launched its lifeguard coverage of the famous Paradise Beach in Carriacou. The initiative entails daily beach safety coverage by 3 trained lifeguards at Paradise Beach between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Kindra Matuan Stewart, said the lifeguard service is already being offered in mainland Grenada. Government decided to extend the initiative to Carriacou following her intervention on behalf of her constituents. She added that the initiative will significantly enhance safety in the Paradise Beach area and the entire Lestec community to some extent, while also enhancing the island's tourism product. Minister Stewart expressed appreciation to Grenada lifeguards for ensuring that the necessary training was done, and she implored the lifeguards to do the best they can in serving the community.
I'm certain there are other young people out there, both males and females, who may be interested in also becoming lifeguards. I didn't watch much of Baywatch, so I don't know what Baywatch is, but what I do know is that lifeguard services are essential, especially if we are developing, if we want to attract tourists, we want to attract more persons to our shows. These are the kind of services that we need to invest in. It augurs well for our overall development.
Minister Stewart said the cost of this initiative will be paid by the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs. Deb Eastwood, manager of Grenada Lifeguard Services, said the lifeguards are ready to take up full duty.
We want everybody to work together as a community. So what you can expect, you just heard from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's a lifeguard chair over there. It might not be right there, okay? They are going to come in the morning. They're going to put the chair where it will be most helpful to look down the beach and see what they need to do. So, but you can always expect a lifeguard to be here. So if there's an emergency, people know, even if they're down at Paradise Beach Club, they know they could run down here right away and get some assistance. Everybody, we want to train everybody to know that right there they can come and somebody will be there to help them from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
She spoke about plans to start a swim program in Carriacou.
Dante has volunteered to start a swim program right here. You know, so give that young man a hand. So that the children that come here, along with the other lifeguards, you know, so we will schedule more lifeguards on a Saturday morning, because on Saturday morning we will have some swimming lessons here. So it's not just some guys out there that are going to prevent drownings. We have 3 P's. It's prevent, which is really important, and it's promote, and it's preserve. So we'll be promoting water education and ecology, and it's just much bigger than, there's some lifeguards to save if we need to save swimmers.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
The first ever Courts Mommy and Me baking competition winners have been announced. We get more in this report.
The mother-daughter team of Leona and Lihana Drakes were crowned winners of the grand prize of 1,000 Courts cash and the title Courts Mommy and Me Baking Champions. The competition was held last Friday at Courts Young Street branch. The contest, sponsored by Black & Decker, was launched via the company's social media platforms, where persons were invited to submit their favorite recipes, and 2 teams were selected to participate in the in-store bake-off. Courts brand manager Melissa Marius says they saw an overwhelming number of persons registering for the competition and were very impressed with the creativity and uniqueness demonstrated in the recipes submitted. She says they selected their top 2 recipes and invited them in-store to showcase their talent. In a release issued from the company, Marius stated, and I quote, "We love celebrating moms and always look forward to Mother's Day at Courts. One of the good things coming out of this pandemic was that many of us learned new skills or perfected old ones. So we saw many new treats and variations of traditional recipes being prepared," unquote. Customers shopping in-store had an opportunity to sample the products from the competition. The panel of judges included 3 top professionals in the food and beverage industry: Ms. Rosamond Francis, Mrs. Desiree Skeet, and Mr. Kim Modest. All the dishes for the competition were prepared using a range of small appliances from Courts. "We are happy to have taken part in this competition and had a lot of fun in the process," Leona, the champion, expressed. Courts recognized and thanked the energetic mother-daughter team of Rollin and Zenavia Lett for their participation. All participants were awarded a small appliance, compliments Black & Decker, and a gift voucher from Courts. Courts will continue to celebrate mothers throughout the month of May, and up to 30% off selected items as part of the month-long campaign dubbed "It's All About Her." Christina John, GBN News.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. Plumbing fixtures, cutting and grinding discs, PVC glue, drywall screws, and power saw blades. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Rubis, get going.
Good morning, Grenlec Meter Reader.
Morning, Mr. Meterman. I'm glad I caught you. Last month, I got a very high bill, and I don't understand why.
Last month, we were not able to access your meter, so we had to estimate the bill.
So what can I do to ensure that my meter is easily accessible?
Well, you can get your licensed electrician to move your meter outside of the gate or directly in front of the house.
Well, I'll consider that.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
See the savings with Spice Isle Optical. Don't break the bank to get your focals. Classy, affordable eyewear. Service optimal. Our experienced technician works like a magician. Trust your sight with our company's vision, where your satisfaction is ever our mission. Mobile services, family packages, economical prices. Spice Isle Optical is where the deal is. Spice Isle Optical is located in Queen's Park, St. George's. For more information, contact us at 449-1588 or 440-0353.
Protect me. Me feel sorry for them. Me pray to God. Then him take over. Blessing, blessing, blessing right over. Send the praises up in living. God harm is around me. So me not go worry me now, friend. Jesus fight my battle. My Jesus never feel me. Jesus fight my battle. I put my trust in no one. Jesus fight my battle. That foot is all around me. Jesus fight my battle. You try to play me, it won't work, you try to free me. My Jesus, cover me daily. Son of evil can't touch me. When I'm walking on the road, in my house when me close the door. Anywhere me there, all when me there on tour. So me not go worry me, no friend. Jesus fight my back, my Jesus never feel me yet. Jesus fight my back, I put my trust in no one. Jesus fight my battle. Lord, me not let you go. Even when the hands are weak, Lord, me not let you go. The evil of the eyes on me. Me have to protect way in me. I care for some people feeling on me. Me have to dip in the worst, work it in me. Me not make sin in me. So me not go worry me, no friend. Jesus fight my battle. My Jesus never feel me yet. Jesus fight my battle. Jesus fight my back, so me not go worry me, no friend. Jesus fight my back, my Jesus never feel me yet. Jesus
wish I could say I love you. I wish I could say I do. I wish I could always.
Mike, can I wait to the Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is 17 and a half, we could call it 18 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Those of you who are just joining us, happy to have you. And those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience. Before we get into Talk the Things Thursday, we have some information that we'd like to share with you from the Marketing and National Importing Board. Joining me virtually this morning is the Operations and Quality Control Manager at MNIB, Kenley. Mr. Edwards, how are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty okay. It's a pleasure to be on your program this morning. I'm here to share some information on the MNIB's farm contract program. So I'm delighted to give that information to the general public.
Thank you so much for joining us. And it's something that I'm excited about and happy about, another opportunity for our farmers. So tell us about the farm contracts for farmers that the MNIB would like to issue. I think it's from next month, God willing?
Yeah. So the farm contract program, actually, MNIB's mandate, as you know, is to market farmers' produce. And with the advent of COVID, we have seen influx of produce where, because of the lockdown, many people who would have lost their job, who traditionally was not involved in agriculture, would have gone into agriculture. So we have seen an uptake in the delivery of produce. And as a result, we really want to, if I may say, regulate the sector, and one way to do so is to basically provide contracts to farmers. And by doing such, basically you will have guaranteed market, which is a mandate for MNIB, because you want to have a situation where you basically can handle or take the produce that the farmers are producing. But if you don't have a contract, basically, even though the mandate is to serve the farmers, we have a situation where you might have to be turning back farmers, and you don't really want to do that. So there's advantage in the farm contract program, and we have this program out now where we are asking farmers, to apply. So just to give some information, you could go on the MNIB's Facebook page, and you're going to see the application there. It basically captures the information asking the farmer to apply. So some of the basic information that are asked is the name of the farmer, the location of the farm, what type of produce you're producing, the quantities that are being produced, what your yields are, what kind of assistance that you need. And you could get that information, as I said, on the MNIB's Facebook page, as well as if farmers are interested, they could get it at all MNIB's outlets where you could collect the form and you basically could drop it off. So the deadline for application is the 31st of May, 2021. But based on the amount of applications we receive, if the program has to be extended, we will extend the program. So just to give some insight as to what the program covers, it's basically going to provide guaranteed market for the fresh produce sector. It will be based on a stable and pre-agreed price. So there's an element of price, if I may say, price stability, because you have a situation there. If you have glut on the market, there's fluctuation in prices. So the farm contract will give that farmer a guaranteed price. So it's a win-win situation, not only for the farmer, but also for the consumers, because once price increases, that increased price is passed on to consumers. So the whole idea is to stabilize market prices. Also, the program also has an element of assistance. So based on, let's say, a farmer is contracted to produce a particular crop, and that farmer needs assistance in producing that crop, he can get technical assistance in terms of providing that crop. So there's an element of assistance. Then there's also a quality assurance aspect where through MNIB's food safety program, the farmer is going to get technical knowledge as to how to grow that crop, what are the market specifications, what are the requirements. And we do have manuals for the different types of produce as to what the market requires and how it should be produced. And lastly, an assistance for expansion of the farmers program. So these are some of the basic elements of the farm contract program. And we are hoping that the farmers get on board. If there are any questions, you can call 440-1791. That's the MNIB's number, and you could get more information as to what the program is about and to give some more details as to how the program will be initiated and rolled out.
Is this a program that farmers themselves have called out for, have asked for, and what has the response been like from these farmers that you're starting the contracts?
Right. So this is not the first time that the MNIB would have initiated a contract program. There are farmers who are actually calling for contract. But what we really want to do is that we want to have it more broad-based, because MNIB has the historical data, knowing farmers who would have done business with MNIB for over the years. But we want to increase, if I may say, the pool of farmers that we do business with. So hence the reason why we are rolling out the program. The farmers who were contracted before or were part of MNIB's contracted program, they themselves can also apply to the program. So it's something that the farmers had asked for, but not only the farmers asking for it, but it's a need that the MNIB has seen, as I said, because it's the institution that is mandated to market farmers' produce, and as a result, to bring a semblance of normalcy, if I may say so, within the sector. Contract farming is a way to go, and hence the reason why we are trying to initiate this program to, if I may say, bring that assistance to the farmers and bring that guaranteed market that they so desire.
Is this or how long do you think this project can be sustainable? These contracts can be sustainable, because after a while, sometimes markets do get saturated with products. How long do you think it can be saturated, and what are the plans to diversify the aspects of the contracts?
All right, so there will be specific produce that the farmers will be contracted for. Again, we have what is called a technical support program. That technical support program, under our food safety program, it has what is called a baseline assessment or a farm data analysis. So we could go into our system and we know when certain produce, if I may say so, are high in volume, and who are some of the farmers that produce this produce. So based on our historical data, what we can do is that it is guided by that, where we contract these farmers to bring in a certain quota. So a farmer may be contracted to, let's say, produce a certain amount, and his delivery might be weekly or twice per week or once per month. So it will be done in such a way where you will be contracted to provide a certain amount of a specific crop, and that will be done over a period of time. So you could be contracted for 6 months, you could be contracted for 1 year. It all depends on the contractability of the farmer, right? There are large farmers, there are medium farmers, there are small farmers. So it will be done, if I may say, on a case-by-case basis, and it would not be like across the board, because every farm, the implements are different, the challenges are different, the way in which the farm is located. So we will be encompassing all these factors, and based on the real life situation on the ground, a decision will be made as to the capability of that farmer, if I may say so, to grow that crop. If I may go on, you have to look at the competence of the farmer. So a farmer might want to, let's say, do seeds and peppers, but he may not be competent, if I may say so, in terms of producing that particular crop. He might be better at a root crop. So we'll be looking at the farmer's track history in terms of the quality that he produces, the quantity that he produces, where his farm is located, what are some of the implements he have on his farm, does he have irrigation, what type of farming practices he practices. So all these will be looked at, will be evaluated, and then based on that assessment, we will make the decision in terms of the contractability of that particular farmer. So in terms of sustaining, once the program is rolled out in a phase, it will be done in a phase process. So we have what we call the priority produce. It will be released in a phase process, and as we go along, we'll be increasing, because when you implement a program, from time to time you may get hiccups. So we'll learn from it. There'll be lessons to be learned, and as we increase the implementation, we're going to fine tune it based on the market conditions and the feedback we get from the farmers and the general public.
What are those produce that you're looking at for these contracts? And is there one or two that are more in demand than others?
All right. So some of the produce that we're looking at, we have root crops, and some of the produce that will be contracted or scheduled for contracted will be things like sweet potatoes, dasheen, tanya. We don't grow Edos in Grenada, but it will be nice if, in a large volume, I should say, if there are any Edos in the country, normally it's substituted through St. Vincent. And it would be nice if we could get someone to be contracted to do that here. But we're looking at the root crops, mainly the sweet potatoes, the tanya, the dasheen, the ginger, something which we saw was like in high demand in the peak of the COVID, when everyone would have started to use ginger because of its healing properties and stuff like that. Then we're looking at vegetables, mainly the leafy greens. Lettuce is one that, even though lettuce is a 4 weeks crop, in terms of 4 to 6 weeks, you could get lettuce onto the market. This year we have seen fluctuations in the production of lettuce. So lettuce is one that we'll be looking at. Tomatoes is another. String beans and body beans. We'll be looking at sweet peppers and seasoning peppers. The produce generally that you may find that at certain times of the year it is scarce. What we want to do is that we want to contract these farmers to grow these produce throughout the year. So then you have availability throughout the year. We know that the seasons have a lot to do with it, but if farmers have irrigating system, most of these produce can be grown year-round. And this is something that MNIB also, as part of their assistance, when the farmers fill out that application form, they will indicate what are some of the assistance they would need. So if a farmer, as I said before, want to do a particular crop and he does not have irrigation, MNIB will see how they could assist that farmer in terms of getting irrigation. It may not be that they'll be able to provide it, but maybe an MOU can be drawn up with MNIB and that farmer, let's say, to a financial institution. Because what a contract does is that it gives you the ability to get finance, because it shows you that you have a commitment. So these are some of the things, again, that the benefits that the contract will bring to the farmers. So these are just some of the produce that will be contracted. There's salad fruits as well, melons, cantaloupe, honeydew melon. These are some of the other produce. So it will be done by categories, by vegetables, by root crops, by fruit trees, etc. That's how the contract will be rolled out.
What about soursop? I remember a few years ago, the MNIB made a concerted effort, calling for what we were calling the green gold. How has that project been going, and is this something that would be part of this contract? The soursop exportation.
So I'm glad you brought up soursop. So soursop is at a unique place, if I may say so. Grenada is, and many people may not be aware of that, but Grenada is one of the few countries, well, it's actually the only country in the Eastern Caribbean that can export fresh, and I'm saying fresh, right? That can export fresh soursop to the continental United States. And the reason why we can do that is because we do not have two of the invasive pests that are prevalent in the other islands. So because we do not have that, one of them is the soursop beetle, and I think the other one is the soursop wasp. Because of the absence of these two pests, we can export fresh soursop. So soursop is at a unique place right now. It brings in a lot of foreign exchange to the country. It stimulates a lot of economic activities because there's a lot of people involved. So what MNIB will be doing with the soursop is that soursop has been passed as what is called a specified produce, meaning that it has special privileges. And MNIB, being the institution, will be the institution, if I may say so, to regulate the sector in terms of the soursop trade. So there we are now discussing how that will be implemented. It's not that private individuals will not be allowed to export, but there'll be some, if I may say, some regulation, some control in terms of ensuring that the people who are exporting, that they have the requisite license in order to export, that the packing facility meets the requirement. And the reason why, because you're looking at not an individual, but you're looking at a country. And let's say, God forbid, let's say for some reason, soursop is exported and let's say there's an outbreak of some foodborne illness or some foodborne illness, and then it traces back to Grenada, the entire country could be suffered. We could have a ban where they could ban the importation or the exportation of soursop. So because of its economic value and its importance to the economy of Grenada, soursop will be in the forefront, and you'll be hearing more about soursop in terms of how the institution intends to regulate the industry. One, starting with a standard, a quality standard for export. Another one, ensuring that the exporters meet that requirement to ensure that it is done in a regulatory manner. And yes, there will be farmers who will be contracted again to produce a certain amount of soursop. The program will also include from the farmers and how they should grow the crop, how they should tend to the crop, ensuring that it meets the requirement. How do you treat for diseases? How do you treat for pests? The whole idea is to, one, increase the marketability, but also to give farmers that return, because you plant a soursop tree, it's not until 3 to 4 years after that you start harvesting. So your investment is like 4, 5, 6 years down the road. So the initial stage you'll be putting into the crop, not getting back nothing in return, and you want to ensure that your field give you that maximum yield. So we'll be working along with farmers to ensure that they are able to get that production, not only in terms of the quantity, but in terms of the quality.
Have we been able to meet the quota for the soursop exportation over the past few months?
Right now, at this present moment, we have a high volume of soursop. Last week, we were able to export over 2,000 pounds, and we could have exported more. But the challenge right now we are faced is cargo space, the infrequencies with the flights, and the space for cargo is one of the limiting factor. So the challenge we're facing right now is not availability. The challenge we're facing right now is space, and in terms of cargo space. So yes, for now we are meeting the quota. The demand far outweighs the supply. There is always more people demanding soursop than what Grenada could actually supply. But it's a nice niche market that we have in Grenada. And I trust that the authorities and all the stakeholders will do everything in their capacity to ensure that Grenada maintain that preference that they have in terms of exporting fresh soursop to the United States.
So if there's a soursop farmer that wants to be a part of that program, how can they do that? What's the criteria for someone who may have enough soursop to add to what we export?
All right, so the first thing that has to be done is that we have to do what is called a baseline assessment. So what we will do is that we will send our field officers, extension officers out to that farmer field and to do an assessment. And the baseline assessment, it covers broad areas. It covers the location of the farm, where the farm is located, what were the history of that land, what was it used for? Was it used traditionally for agriculture? And what are some of the practices, agronomic practices that farmer practices on his farm? Does he use organic fertilizer? Does he use inorganic fertilizer? What does he use for irrigation? What type of water is used? And from that baseline assessment actually is like a risk assessment where you look at the farm and you rank it based on the risk. And then based on that ranking, we basically will make a judgment as to that farm. And then once that is done, then we basically get the information, we do background to ensure that farmer has his farmer's ID, that he's a legitimate farmer, and once all this is done, he fills out that application form, he gets onto the program. But like I said, it will be done in a phased process. You'll be hearing more as to when the program will be rolled out, what will be some of the produce that will be the first step. But soursop definitely will be one of the crop that will be a high priority item, if I may say, on that list.
Somebody on WhatsApp, I believe it was, they were inquiring about the exportation. Is it only on online registration for the contract program?
No, the contract program, you could register, like I said, online through the Facebook page But you could also pick up an application form at any of the MNIB outlets. You can also get it at the River Road Park House, Young Street Main Office, Carriacou outlets. I think you're going to get it also at Grenville. The application forms can be picked up at any of the MNIB's location, as well as online.
Somebody else on WhatsApp asks, why MNIB does not focus on value added for product instead of exporting the raw fruit?
Okay, excellent question. So value added, we know value added does add value, as I said, to any produce, right? To transform it. One of the challenge that you have is that you have to ensure that you have the right equipment to actually do that transformation. That's one. Then two, energy costs, energy consumption is one of the biggest factor that is hindering Grenada in terms of transforming all our agricultural produce into value addition. Yes, you could freeze the pulp and send it off, but I guess that person is speaking of going into things like ice creams, going into things of cosmetics. You could also get that from sauce of creams and all those things. Now, if you're going more into tertiary part of the application, it takes the technologically transfer. You have to have that technology. I'm not saying it cannot be done. It can be done, but it's something where you have to make sure that you do the feasibility study to ensure that the capital investment, that you get the return, because it's all well and good to do value addition, but if you're not getting back that return on your investment, just for doing value addition's sake, sometimes it's best that you just do your export. So right now we have the comparative advantage in exporting the fresh salsa. What we could do now is that we could extend it by doing salsa leaves, salsa tea, the low-hanging fruits, before we go more into delving into, let's say, more sophisticated products out of salsa in terms of the creams, the cosmetics, the juices is fine, that could be done as well. The pulp, frozen pulp, that could be done as well. So yes, value addition is something that can be done, but I think it can be done in a phased process than just going whole into everything. But yes, that's a good question. It's something that the MNIB can look forward to doing as added value to the fresh produce as well.
And just remind us of the parameters of the farm contract program. How can farmers sign up for it, and what exactly you're trying to accomplish with these contracts?
All right, so the farm contract program, what we're trying to achieve from that, one, we want to give farmers a guaranteed market to ensure that the produce is guaranteed. Two, guaranteed prices, because you will be contracted at a set price. So you basically will have an idea as to when you plant your produce, you have a market for your produce, you know what price it is. So it helps with your production planning. It also gives you the opportunity, if I may say so, to get financial assistance, because it's a guaranteed contract. And in that way, you could take it to a financial institution in order to assist you in whatever ways possible. It also helps with supply management, and supply management in the sense of it controls what is being planted. We know in Grenada, people tend to plant based on the price, and that's just how it is naturally, right? The more you get out of it is the more people plant. But then when that happens, what happens? That the price goes up. So, it allows for what is called phase planting. So people plant at particular times, and in that way, everyone, if I may say so, get a piece of the pie. So the whole idea is to regulate the industry, give farmers a guaranteed market, a guaranteed price, and the benefits transform to the consumers. In terms of where the information can be found, it can be found in the MNIB's Facebook page, as well as any of the MNIB's outlet. Our website is not fully operational, so you cannot get it there, but you could also call in and we could also mail it to you. So you could also get it via email as well. It's a Google form, and that's the beauty of it, is that we now seeing some of the information, because from the Google form now, we now populating that data, and we can see exactly what it is the farmers are requesting, what it is we need to do. And the whole idea is for us to offer a better service to the farmers in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Market.
And the MNIB also has weekly weekend sales. What's up for sale this weekend?
Actually, specifically, I cannot say specifically, but it's sale on fresh produce, mainly our vegetables. I cannot speak of as to what exactly the sale will be on which item, but customers could just visit the M&IB outlets and there will be sale on our fresh produce, a range of fresh produce. The sale will be on very good price, very competitive price, cost-busting price that you could shop. And the whole idea is to eat local, eat fresh, support the local farmers, support the local economy. And I trust that we're going to see some patronage from our customers in Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinique over this weekend as they continue to support. Because once you purchase from M&IB, you are supporting the local farmers, you are supporting the local economy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your appearance this morning, sir. Thank you so much for passing by or stopping by and letting us know. When's the deadline to sign up for the farm contract?
The initial deadline is the 31st of May. But like I said, it will be based on the uptake, how many applicants we would have received. And then based on that, we're going to reevaluate. So the program might be extended for another week or two, but the initial deadline is the 31st of May. So we are asking all farmers out there who are interested in partaking in M&IB's farm contract program, you can do so before the 31st, but there's also a chance that you can do it after the 31st. But please do it while it's early, so because we have to then evaluate and then start issuing contracts, because there are farmers who are actually calling. They're ready to start, but we can't just start yet because we have to roll it out, and do it in a meaningful way. So the more applications we receive, is the better for everyone.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you very much. And the pleasure was mine to be a part of your program, and all the best for the rest of the day.
Thank you. Many happy returns. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Operations and Quality Control Manager at the Marketing and National Importing Board, Mr. Kenley Edwards. We thank him so much. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we get into this morning's Talk the Things Thursday.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Understanding our ocean is education for life. Encourage your students to learn about marine life, water quality, sea level rise. Let them explore sciences. Encourage them through field trips and scholarships. The more they know, the better they can protect our oceans from litter and climate change. Let them rise to the challenge. The ocean is our responsibility, their inheritance, their future.
This message brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is 13 minutes on to 12 and a half minutes on to 8 o'clock. Let's get right into this morning's Talk the Things Thursday. Here's what's going to take place for Talk the Things this morning. You're picking a side. Yay, nay, I don't sure. Yes, no, I am not sure how I feel about the subject. The subject is this morning, the Grenada movement led by Dr. Patrick Antoine has signaled its intention to transition from a non-governmental organization to a political party. The question is, yay, nay, I don't sure. Yes, no, I'm not sure how I feel about the subject. TGM as a political party. You're in favor, you're not in favor, or you ain't sure where you're feeling yet. Let's go. Landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. And you can post your thoughts, yay, nay, ado, sure, on GBN's Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page or the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. The Grenada movement led by Dr. Patrick Antoine as a political party. Yay, nay, I don't sure. Yes, no, I am not sure how I feel about the subject. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Auntie Blaster.
Morning, Ms. Jacob. How you do?
Good, I'm fine. This morning you had a nice, wonderful topic. And I wanted to bring back every Thursday, just bring farmers program. But the topic for this morning, I go for it.
No, you're not in favor.
Nah.
All right, no problem. Have a good day, Ms. Jacob.
Love you. What about mommy?
Mommy good.
Right.
All right.
Love you, baby.
Love. Right. The Grenada movement as a political party. Yes, no, I am not sure how I feel about the subject. Yay, nay, I don't sure. I given all of the dialect and the proper English because I know some people that's touchy now. There we go. Yay, nay, I don't sure. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Gotham.
Morning. I'm good. How you do?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good on top of the hill.
Nice to know. How you feeling? Yay, nay, or you don't sure?
Oh, yeah, I think it is giving democracy some life. The alternative to the NDC, which I am not ashamed to say, my party has been sitting down too long. So let's make the field interesting, man. Let the politics come alive, and they have some good policies. So bring it on.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right. The Grenada movement as a political party. Yay, nay, I don't sure. Yes, no, I am not sure how I feel about the subject. Social media are coming just now. Good morning, caller. Good morning. Morning, Nenny. I'm having real trouble hearing you. You had to fix your phone.
Don't give me no much yes. Now we don't give me trouble more. Tell them come. I call it. Let me come. They telling me yes, they will come. Some of them one come, he tell me I need a new food. I tell them I can buy new food and from them I get it. This time last time I don't sure about this political party, you know. But what I sure of, you listen me?
I'm hearing you very far, but tell me.
Yes, what I sure of, my daughter come in and have a big sale that my money not my home in Sinunia.
Then you fix your phone and then you'll call me back, okay?
I'm going to try to call you on his shot.
See what's going on social media now. Somebody on Facebook says, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Somebody says no with about 10 O's in the end. I had to count it. I want all it to feel what I'm reading. Somebody on WhatsApp, somebody says, I'm in favor. It's about time. The people are anxiously awaiting this new addition to politics. I'm wondering what their color will be. Good morning, caller.
We don't really need colors. What we need a greater, amplitude for the participation of the people. We need about 3 more, as a matter of fact, in this here country, so we can combat the influence of the organized crime syndicate that has sequestered the state of Grenada. Long live any new party come in this here country again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, will you?
Thank you very much. Have a good day, Citizen Rolo. The Grenada movement signaling its intention to transition from a non-governmental organization to a political party. Yes, no, I am not sure how I feel about the subject. Yay, nay, I don't sure. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Sister Blossom, Nanny.
Yes, Nanny, tell me. How you feel about the political TGM being a political...
I don't think so now, Sister Blossom. Oh God, too much. Better this party turn to Papa God.
Okay, thank you.
Turn to Papa God. Yes, and you listening me?
Quickly. Tell me quick.
Yes, the sales. I want to tell the people my daughter coming down Saturday morning, please God. Well, tomorrow, please God, she coming down, but Saturday morning at my home in Simon, she having the big sale.
Okay,
children
all right.
Children clothing and big people clothing.
All right, thank you very much, Nelly.
Yes, you have a blessed day.
You too.
Okay.
All right. TGM as a political party, yay, nay, I don't sure, yes, no, I am not sure how I feel about the subject. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, and how are you?
I'm good, how you do?
Not too bad, Miss Blossom.
All right, tell me.
And everything's everything, Miss Blossom?
Yeah, man, everything Irie, man.
Thank God for His grace and His mercy, Miss Blossom.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Right.
So how you feeling about it?
Well, I'm feeling a hope, but I want to say something. This gentleman, how you name? The man that crossed over and he called himself everything Mr. Antoine. Mr. Antoine, remember, he campaigned for NNP and he said that was the best party for him to run and to run the country. And they had so much work, much 100 a work with big contract and contract. But he is the man who come up with the contract work to contract the workers. And he say all the nice thing about Mr. Kit Mitchell. The what you call the test of the country. He says so much good thing about him. And today you're running against him, so it's a 2-party in 1 party then. So the swinger and to swing the same day last over. Whatsoever we get on this side here, we go just merge back and bring back the party. Because Mr. Antoine can tell me turn against the man just so. Because the man they tell them. The man they say, if you follow the Happy Hills boys, you get fever. You remember he said so?
So you're not in favor?
No.
All right.
Can't be in favor and cook. With cookies, you must never be in favor and cook. Cook is cook. You go never turn.
All right.
Remember Lucifer do turn, you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See, I just feel a way about it because you see, that was years ago. There's a possibility that his thoughts and beliefs have since changed to what he believed. What was it? Let's say 5 years ago. I can't remember the exact much years. So maybe he was supporting the Keith Mitchell-led administration 5 years ago, but he has since changed in his thoughts. And now he's going in a different direction. We can't always say how you thought or what you were thinking years ago is the same way you're thinking now. Sometimes people, change direction and so on and so forth. Give them the little benefit of the doubt, nah, man. There, man. All right, there we go. Yes, no. What is it again? Yeah, nay, I don't sure. Yes, no, I am not sure how I feel about the subject. Let me go on social media. Somebody on Facebook says they're not going anywhere. They were always a political party and will take votes from the NDC. Another person on Facebook says people are talking change. Why not? Another Facebooker, it's a set of ex-NNP not going anywhere. Let me go by WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says that was their intention. They knew from the start and deceived people already. Another WhatsApper, yes, we need more parties because the current 2 are just about the same. Another WhatsApper, NNP number 2, Patrick and Keith, the same thing. And another WhatsApper, before I go back to the landline, says, yes, but could Grenada deal with 3 political parties? I think NDC should join with a new party. Good morning, caller. Yene Adoshore. How you feeling? Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm glad I come through. Now, I know you could remember that.
Yeah, tell me. Go ahead.
I know you could remember because of your educational background. A few months back, people called when this party, when this organization started, and asked Mr. Antoine or asked leaders or in his side if he intend to be in politics. And he said he cannot say where he would be. And I strengthened his bond by saying that because even you are in the, let's say, involved in this activity, you would never know what is likely because if you get a lucrative post somewhere else, you may leave. So the future to some extent is uncertain. Let me say what I have to say now. Now, I welcome the party because as you know, competition is a healthy thing. What I mean, I'm talking about health, it's a good thing.
Okay.
It's a very, very... You want me to end now?
Yes, please, thanks.
Okay? So my 3 minutes always shorter than
3 minutes is to the point. This is not to the point. Thank you.
Well, I don't understand,
3 minutes is to the point. This is not to the point. Let me go back to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says it's okay, but they knew from the start that was their intention. They should complain from the start. Deceit in politics again. That's where we would have to end this morning. But coming up into the point, it's open line to the point because there's Parliament tomorrow, please the Lord, which means there'll be no open line tomorrow, please the Lord. So we're doing the open line today. So stay tuned at 9 o'clock. I can read some more of the comments on the WhatsApp in this morning's To The Point coming up in just over an hour. In the meantime, let's get ready for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. Enjoy the rest of your thankful Thursday. Continue to be safe and responsible. Wear your mask. Observe the protocols. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everybody.